Welcome back once again to WCS America, and we are ready finally for Drunkenboi versus TooDMing. And I'm pretty stoked to see how this all plays out. Drunkenboi's been showing some good skills, man, playing some great StarCraft, qualifying for this shot at the Premier League. And TooDMing, a Chinese player, a very good Chinese player, all things considered, is probably a player that Drunkenboi thinks he can get past.
I would say so.
And, you know, I'm sure that TooDMing is probably saying, all right, I didn't have to play against Hyun. I got a great shot. So
I would especially say so since, you know, one person that's been so boisterous about the lag problems is Edison, the manager from IG.
Yep.
He always says that latency from China to the American server is like 2-3 seconds. Sometimes. It could be really, really bad. It just depends on the day. So there can be a situation where Drunkenboi, he can do all the micro that he wants, and TooDMing cannot.
yeah, that's very true. Players just getting their colors in order. We'll be hopping into game number 1 on Polar Night momentarily. Polar Night is a map that I've really come to enjoy in Zerg versus Terran because it has a variety of ways that it can play out, from funny, cheesy things to big macro games. It feels very good to me. I like it quite a bit.
So Ben, how are you gonna win this dinner?
I'm going to win this dinner with the prediction that heavy Zergling Baneling aggression in the mid game ends the game before.
This is like, I should give you odds on this, but I'm not going to.
Before
because you're making your own bed.
Before the 18-minute mark.
Okay. Zergling Baneling is going to win the game.
Before the 18-minute.
Before the 18-minute. Are you just saying?
I'm saying TooDMing wins before 18 minutes is my bet. And for all the fans at home, it's with Zergling Baneling.
You're the worst.
What?
You're the worst at making these bets interesting.
I'm a showman.
You basically just
I'm
copied
a showman
me.
first.
You just copied me.
How did I copy you?
Because I did an
I
under
know,
over.
you did
You
an
didn't even
under
give me
over.
an under over. You said, no, this is how it's okay,
you
well,
don't
I
have
guess
to-
I'll take
you don't
over
have
on
to
that.
Take the bet.
Let's get into the game. Do we have a push, Ben?
Do we have a push?
Yeah, 10 seconds.
If he doesn't make any banelings.
Oh. Of course. Put the score up, Ben.
Okay. Sorry, I always forget the score. That's not a very good bet. What should we?
No, that's what we're betting. 18 minutes.
Okay.
I'm happy to do 18 minutes under over.
Cool.
I think.
Well, it's TooDMing wins before 18
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
If
TooDMing
Drunkenboi wins, you
Yeah.
win. If it goes past 18 minutes, you win.
I know. That's why I think that's a ridiculously awful bet. Even if TooDMing is like a 60% chance to win, I still feel like the under over on that is.
You can give me 2 points then if I win.
I could, but
Puts
I'm
me
not.
ahead in the competition. All right, spawning the top half of the map. The red Terran player, he is, of course, Drunkenboi with the happy StarCraft's decal on his command center down in the bottom half of the map. The blue Zerg is TooDMing of Team Zenith of Origin. Believe it or not, he finished up last year with some WCS points. I have heard rumor that there will be a fairly large Taiwanese/Chinese StarCraft competition for a fairly large sum of WCS points sometime this year, so that could be very cool. There is more and more buzz, it feels, every month about the Chinese scene.
It's really cool that that scene is growing, especially. Chinese players in Warcraft 3 were just legendary, and it's great to see them really cultivating a great environment that just showcases some of their best talent.
Yeah. It is going to be a Reaper opening here for Drunkenboi.
Absolute standard of TVZ. Don't really expect anything else. Reaper expand against a pretty fast gas, I would say. This is a 2-minute and 35-second gas. It's slightly before the spawning pool goes down, I would think. Yeah.
Yeah, so we want to have a quick Zergling speed, apparently, if we're inside the head of TooDMing.
Very quick. Yep.
Overlord sees all, sees that reactor going down. That's a great scout, and this Reaper is going to cross the map, and should be meeting stiff resistance. 4 lings in the production tab already. Will he make a 6th, or is he just going to try to do it with only the 4? We will see.
Normally it is 4. By the way, this is a very pull test build. He's going for the the reactor instead of the second Reaper. Nice micro there from
So
TooDMing.
far, so good. Lings are out. And that should be canceled.
And will this be a Reaper Marine? No, it's just going to be double Marines for Drunkenboi. So nothing of too much value.
Reaper's going to continue dancing around, but for the most part, this has already been repelled. Once the queen is out, aggression will be over. See a couple more Lings popping out, so we've got 6 Lings on the map right now. Drunkenboi's follow-up is probably going to be a couple of Hellions. The common thing here is while being greedy, making SCVs and expansions, you make a couple of Hellions and then try a little bit of Hellion Reaper aggression to just deny creep spread and keep your opponent on 2 bases for as long as you can. It can be a tricky thing to deal with, and it is also one of the timings that a Zerg player might want to try to exploit with a swell of Lings.
And it doesn't look like he's going to do that just yet. We'll find out. Everything looks
starport,
very standard. Yeah, it's the what's his name? Pulp type build.
You said.
Yeah.
And even a tech lab going down on that racks. So
I don't think it's going to be Banshees, but it obviously could be.
it's in the range.
It's in the range, but I mean it could be a little bit closer. That's the only reason why I'm saying this. But we'll find out. Starport going to finish up here, and I'm personally expecting a Viking to pop out of this.
Right now we've got 2 mostly saturated bases. One more gas is going to be taken as TooDMing.
Wow, really delaying his gas, man.
Waiting to determine what his follow-up is going to be. 3 Overlords at once. Makes me feel like he's going to make some units. But we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the beginning stages really come down to. It's all standard play, especially from these players. It's all very standard play, and they're looking to just get the best economy possible and play it standard. I guess we could talk about what each other is really looking at with the Overlord Scout, especially coming in here and seeing everything. It sees the Viking, which is so important, and we'll realize, okay, this is most of the time going to be some sort of drop play with the Viking just clearing up all the Overlords to spot anything coming.
So TooDMing is keeping the super standard, man. He's going up to lair. He hasn't added anything like a Baneling Nest. He's in fact got no additional tech just yet. And no additional Lings out on the map. 10 more Lings to go into production as he realizes that he's soon to be under pressure. But until those guys are out, he's got to be very careful not to lose things unnecessarily, like Overlords, Queens, even Creep Tumors.
Keeping up 8 minutes, double Evolution Chamber, making sure that he's going to be ahead in those upgrades, because with every Terran matchup, upgrades are of the utmost importance.
It's weird Evo Chamber placement.
Very much so. Normally you have them as a blockade for some of the Hellions. Not going to be the case over here. The first engagement is going to happen over at the 3rd base, but no, TooDMing too staunch in his defense.
Yeah. So far, so good for our Zerg player. Hasn't taken any damage and is instead trying to macro pretty freely. This is interesting. A drop with some Marines and some Marauders, and they're going to manage to pick off a Queen at least. And maybe a little bit more than that. Here come the Zerglings to try and defend, and they will force the drop to pick up at the same time.
Natural.
Hellions in the natural, and this is already looking a little bit hashtag dicey. Lings are going to try to surround, but the Ling count is not really that high. Hellions are going to go right up this ramp, and oh no, TooDMing, you're about to make me a loser.
Yep, things are not good when you're losing this much mining time. Now all the drones, the Hellions in perfect position with the Marauders tanking a lot of the damage. This is great. The Queen's getting into position. Transfuse going to come off here, but not going to be enough. Losing another Queen. Zerglings again going to sprint in, but there's still Terran stuff on the field. Ben, I think this is game.
This is terrible, man. So much damage. Every Queen may fall. No, at the last second, TooDMing micros that one back and will preserve a little bit there. And how bad was the damage? 49 drones remaining, 11 drones killed. Resources lost shows us
that's scary.
That Zerg lost quite a bit. 2,318 resources, 60 units in total, including Queens, Lings, drones.
Man, that's like an STC tank right there.
Almost. Well, these Marauders have combined for about 20 kills between themselves.
where he might have a little success right now is the 1-1 that he has over his opponent. Actually, that's a lot of success given how late the 1-1 for the Terran is. So there's going to be a 1-1 timing and a 2-2 timing. That's what's really given up. Whenever you see this really, really huge amount of pressure in the early game stage with Terran, normally Zergs will have the upgrade advantage a little bit later on that they can always count on to take map control, to take their own expansions, and to even kind of snowball it out of control, because a 1-1 advantage and a 2-2 advantage, that represents so much time to do stuff.
Terran player just landing his third base right now. Drunkenboi, I gotta say, is looking pretty solid here in game number 1. TooDMing has not made much of an effort to recover economically. He hasn't built really any extra drones, maybe, you know, 4 or 5 drones after that that initial attack, but has only been making units and even adding a macro hatchery there over at the third base. Drunkenboi, oh man, is going to catch a couple of these mutas out on the map. That's excellent, as well as forced into a very defensive position. Where are these banelings being morphed? Yeah, they're in the natural.
Hasn't continued 2-2, so we're going to see a big Zergling Baneling swell and an all-in coming out of TooDMing. This has to end right here for the Zerg player. 1-1 though has equalized. That's why you always wait until the 2-2, because you don't really get all your essential upgrades until much later. By that time, the Terran has stabilized, and the Terran has been able to get the units that he needs.
Well, Drunkenboi is out on the map. He's got to be careful not to get caught here. A couple of Widow Mines could be instrumental, and they... Oh my goodness, those connections were intense. A lot of everything going down there, including some Terran units. Zerg is going to continue to stream forward. More and more Lings reinforcing. This is a little bit of what we were talking about, Andre. TooDMing has committed himself to this attack off of only his mid-game economy, and he's in the natural right now, although Widow Mines are making some excellent connections. Marines and Marauders microing all the way back into the main base where the reinforcements are a little bit late. I wonder if TooDMing is injecting. It looks like he is.
Yep,
but it just feels like his reinforcements are so threadbare. Like, what are these Lings going to do?
Nothing,
Ben. Other than die very, very quickly.
He loses all the mutas. That's the I shouldn't say end game, but that's really the forward thinking in his plans for the later game stages.
This is when you need Burrow, man. Burrow Banelings right there.
Perfect. Would have been perfect. Mr. Bitter, best coach 2014.
But as it stands, Drunkenboi is going to stabilize. TooDMing finds himself down about 30 supply.
He's still going in though. At third base, looking kind of dicey, Ben.
Wants to do some damage to these workers. Drunkenboi doing a great job, microing everything back, moving units up to the high ground, fighting from above. A lot of SCVs getting blasted right now by Banelings as TooDMing continues to pile on the pressure. Income tab shows us 49 SCVs against 51 drones. That is fine when you're on triple orbital. Oh my goodness, the Widow Mines up to 26 kills between them, mostly going to be Zerglings, I imagine.
Now, Drunkenboi is doing a couple things that he really needs to is not doing a couple things that he needs to focus on. Keeping his Widow Mines alive and spread out across the arena, and also just compiling all of his units in a safe, comfortable way. Right now, he's always been segmented. He's always been attacked upon. He really can't afford that. Even giving up the third base, don't mind it at all. But 2-2, almost finished. Once they do, these Marines and these Zerglings and Banelings won't be able to connect at all. TooDMing has to wrap this up in the next 60 seconds or he's dead.
Drunkenboi trying to secure a little bit more map control to lock down this game. Come on, TooDMing, I need you to do something in about 1 minute and 30 seconds. Otherwise, I'm going to be hopelessly behind in this quest for a free dinner. Marines and medevacs circling.
It's alright, we have a long night, Ben.
TooDMing does not believe in making extra drones.
Nope.
I'm more worried about ending the night like 08 than I am about buying dinner. That would just be humiliating.
Oh, man.
I feel like if we would play a dice rolling game, I would fare better.
I think so.
I'm really good at rolling dice.
You're very, very good at rolling dice.
It's one of my great skills.
You practice a lot.
I do. All right, here we go. TooDMing looking for an opportunity to engage. Okay. Baits a couple of Widow Mine shots. Picks off a couple of Widow Mines. This is dangerous! Where are the big connections? Actually, this is a fantastic fight for the Zerg player. The Widow Mines mostly falling flat. Drunkenboi not microing his bio at all. Medevacs running to safety. It's 133 supply to 143 supply. One final big swell.
But there's a big drop into the main base that's actually complicating so much. His entire economy is being ravaged right now. 2-2 has already finished. So this is a very, very easy defense, or an easy everything, honestly. He could just be the most inefficient over here, knowing that his Marines a little bit later are going to be very, very cost efficient. Down goes everything for the attack of TooDMing. Drunkenboi now rallying over into the third base, into the large area on the left-hand side, so he can mount an assault.
Yeah, I think Drunkenboi maybe has weathered the storm and is on the verge of wrapping up this first game. Marines going to stem forward once more. 3-3 on the way, as you pointed out already, Andre. Marines trying to close the gap, tightening the noose in this third expansion. Zerglings and Banelings are going to come forward, and some pretty reasonable connections here. I think they are going to clean up all of this. We see Widowmines trying to get burrowed.
But he has no mutas. Unit tab showing 4 mutas out in the field. You can't harass with 4 mutas. Well, you can harass.
You can't even really deal with these metafacts with
yeah,
this amount of
right.
mutalisks, which is one of the real problems. One of the macro hatcheries is going to get picked off here. Still spreading creep in the middle of the map is TooDMing.
Signs of strong players.
Lots of actions per minute. 437 APM average for TooDMing. Spiking up to 1,500. How is that possible?
That doesn't seem reasonable.
What? What? TooDMing,
wait,
are you using a macro keyboard?
Seriously, man, that doesn't seem reasonable. 1,500 APM?
That is ridiculous. Here comes Drunkenboi once again, drops the stem, and is going to make his way into the third base.
Here, I'm going to do this for you. Because he was spiking up to like 700 during fights.
GG, says TooDMing, and Drunkenboi takes game number 1 in the series. Looked fantastic, I have to say. I'm very impressed with the excellent poise he showed, great defense, and ultimately 439 average actions per minute.
That's absurd, man.
That's
in StarCraft 2 especially, because StarCraft 1 it's like, okay, yeah,
StarCraft 2
still really high.
Count is off. It's like the game speed counts it incorrectly.
You're actually slower
in
StarCraft 2. So if this was StarCraft Brooded, you would be like 600 APM, 500 APM.
Yeah, I think it's like 1.2 times or 1.4 times too slow.
Yeah, something like that.
At least that's how it used to be. They've changed APM a few times. I don't know if that's still true. I might just be blowing smoke. Either way, guys, great first game there from Drunkenboi. We are going to take a short break. We'll be back with game number 2 after this.